thought I was done, and in fact I turned the page and I forgot to do this last problem. So let me do this, because you will see these types of problem in calculus once you get started with that. And it's when we are given like a value for the tangent where is going to equal x over 1. And so when we do that, we have to remember the tangent, the opposite over the adjacent. And if we're given the fact that the tangent is equal to x, that's the same thing as x over 1. Now with that, that means I can draw a triangle where the opposite is going to be x and the adjacent is going to be 1. And then what I do would solve for the hypotenuse. And remember, that's the legs of my triangle, so it's going to be 1 squared plus x squared is equal to the square of this, so we're going to take the square root of it, the hypotenuse. And so in this case, the sine of the arctangent of that would be equal then to the opposite, which is going to be x over the square root of x plus 1. So let me break it down just a little bit further. Just like we did before, we had the sine of, we have the arctangent of x. So again, find this part first, and that's what they did to begin with. And they said, well, the arctangent of x is going to be then the opposite is going to be x, and that means it's x over 1. And that's how they found that angle. They said the tangent, there's an angle that has a tangent of x over 1. And then to solve, we're going to look then for the sine is going to be then the square root of x squared plus 1. Now, let's say that we had to we're the cosine, and we had the same thing of the arctangent of x. So again, you still have the same triangle that you're creating, but now the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And so in this case, that my solution would be then 1 over the square root of x squared plus 1, because my adjacent is 1 and my hypotenuse is that. And I can actually do that with any of my trigonometric functions I already know. It wouldn't make sense for me to go ahead and do maybe the tangent, because but I could also find the secant and the cosecant doing the same process.